Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's good. Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are refreshed. And hope you guys are enjoying your Friday so far. Um, we know that the MTN8 is looming on us with 8 teams that are going to be competing, which is the teams that finished in the top 8 last season. They will be competing for this prestigious trophy, which includes, of course, champions Mamelodi Sundowns, Morocco Swallows, Orlando Pirates, Sekhukhune United, Cape Town City, Kaizer Chiefs, SuperSport United, as well as Stellenbosch FC. Right, to begin, there are 4 intriguing ties in the MTN8 quarterfinals this coming weekend, with plenty of side shows to keep an eye on as the 8 teams push for a semi-final place. We take a look at the statistics ahead of the matches with the giant carrot of an 8 million prize, 8 million rand first prize on offer for this year's champions. 8 million rand up for grabs. Wow. So in the first game that we're going to look at is the game between champions, defending league champions Mamelodi Sundowns against the team that finished in 8th position, Morocco Swallows. So we know the game takes place on Saturday, the 12th of August, which is a 3 p.m. kickoff at the Lucas Masterpieces Moripe Stadium. So as we dive and we take a deep look into this fixture, quite remarkably, these two sides have only met once before in the MTN8 competition, and it was a cracking 2-leg semi-final tie in the 2012-2013 season. The first match ended in a 3-3 draw before Swallows edged the second 3-2 to earn a place in the final where they beat SuperSport United. Remember that one quite clearly, with Lerato Shabangu being the hero for Morocco Swallows that day. This fixture pits Swallows coach Steve Kompela against the club he left just a few weeks ago, and where he had enjoyed great success as part of the backroom staff. His desire to be a head coach again prompted his move to Swallows, but he will know the inner workings of Sundowns better than anyone else outside of the club. Hopefully that will work to Morocco Swallows' advantage. In the same boat is midfielder Andile Jali, the veteran, who has just ended 5 years at Sundowns to move to Swallows and link up again with his mentor Steve Kompela. He will certainly have a point to prove after being barely used at Lorkop last season. The teams have met on 78 occasions in all competitions since the 1985 season, with Sundowns leading the head-to-head with 33 wins to 22 wins for Morocco Swallows. They have also had 23 draws played between these teams. Sundowns have also outscored their opponents, scoring 114 goals, and Swallows had only scored 83 in all ties that they have played against Mamelodi Sundowns. Sundowns have enjoyed tremendous success in the last decade, but have found the MTN8 title wins hard to come by. They were victorious when they beat Cape Town City on penalties in the 2021 final, but that is their only title win since 2007. There have been 6 meetings between the clubs since Swallows were promoted back in to the top flight for the 2020-2021 season. Sundowns have won 3 of these, 2 at home, and there have been 3 draws. 2 of these draws ended 0-0, including last season's 0-0 draw at the Dobsonville Stadium. Sundowns talisman striker Peter Shalulile does enjoy playing against Swallows. He got a hat-trick against them in April 2022 and another goal in the fixture before that, but then there are not many teams he does not fancy playing against besides Morocco Swallows. Sundowns have won the MTN8 competition 4 times in their history, while Swallows have 3 titles. The latter made the semi-finals the last time they competed in 2021, though lost to Cape Town City, who Sundowns defeated in the final at the Moses Mabhida Stadium. Swallows earned their place in the MTN8 at the end of the season when they won their final 4 DStv Premiership games to sneak into the top half of the table. One of those victories came against Amakhosi at the Peter Mokaba Stadium, which was a come-from-behind 2-1 victory. And it was very surprising that Musa Nyatama was not promoted as head coach of Morocco Swallows considering the fact that how he managed to turn around the fortunes of Swallows. Because remember, this was a team that was facing relegation last season. And then Musa Nyatama took over and then he completely transformed the team. Remarkably so. And now they will be competing in the top 8 and Kwasba. Maybe they might even make it all the way to the final and clinch the trophy. But we'll see. Tomorrow, which is Saturday, will tell us that story, if the fairy tale will happen, or will Mamelodi Sundowns maybe dominate and end their drought of not being able to win the MTN8, finding the MTN8 trophy hard to come by and hard to add to their trophy cabinet. So in the other game that we are looking forward to is Orlando Pirates, defending champions of the MTN8. As we saw, they did defeat AmaZulu 1-0 at the Moses Mabhida Stadium with a wonderful goal scored by Munapule Saleng. Orlando Pirates will be taking on Sekhukhune United at Orlando Stadium on Saturday the 12th of August, which will be a 6 p.m. late kickoff. Sekhukhune United are making their debut in the MTN8 this season. So this is the first meeting between the sides in the competition, but they do have some recent cup history to recall. The teams contested the final of the Nedbank Cup on May 27, which Orlando Pirates won 2-1 with a late winner from Terence Jukamanja, who is now on the books of SuperSport United. Sbusiso Vuliagazi, former Mamelodi Sundowns striker, put Sekhukhune in front, but Tapelo Kogi equalized from the penalty spot, and Jukamanja, who has since left, like I said early, for SuperSport United late to claim a second trophy of the season for Orlando Pirates. Pirates are indeed the defending MTN8 champions after they lifted the trophy last year, which was immediate success for then new coach Jose Riviero. They beat Royal AM 2-1 in the quarterfinals before a 0-0 draw with Mamelodi Sundowns in the first leg in their semi-finals. Pirates then turned on the style to return with a 3-0 victory away to Mamelodi Sundowns at the Peter Mokaba Stadium before beating AmaZulu in the decider 1-0 at the Moses Mabhida Stadium in Durban. Pirates coach Riviero has in fact not lost a knockout game in South African football. His record reads played 9, won 7 and drawn 2. Pirates winger Munapule Saleng had a superb 2022 MTN8 and was named last man standing at the end of the season at the PSL Awards. He scored 3 goals, including the winner in the final, and was instrumental in the Buccaneers' success. And hopefully we do expect him to also be very instrumental, again, if Pirates are to retain their title. Pirates qualified for the MTN8 by finishing second last season, though they were a full 16 points behind DStv Premiership winners Mamelodi Sundowns. Sekhukhune United finished 7th in what was their second campaign in the DStv Premiership, an excellent result after they had struggled in the early part of the season. The arrival of coach Brandon Truter changed their fortunes for the better. The teams have met on 5 occasions over the past 2 seasons since Sekhukhune's promotion to the top flight. Pirates have won 3 wins in that time, and Sekhukhune only have won once with a single draw. It has been a feast or famine for Pirates in the MTN8 in their previous 9 appearances in the competition. They have gone out in the quarterfinals in 5 of those years and reached the final in the other 4. They have claimed title victories in 2 of the last 3 years and lost the 2013 and 2014 finals. Pirates have reached 8 finals since the MTN8 competition was restored to the PSL calendar in the 2000-2001 season, more than any other club. They have won 5 of those to go with 3 defeats. Well, in the other cracking game, mouth-watering clash also takes place at the Mother City between Cape Town City and 2015 runners-up or 2014 winners Kaizer Chiefs at the Athlone Stadium, which is a game that is scheduled to take place on Sunday, the 13th of August, 3 p.m. kickoff. The game between Cape Town City and Kaizer Chiefs will be a second meeting between the two sides in the MTN8. The first coming in City's maiden season in the top flight after their purchase of Mpumalanga Black Aces status. Australian Matt Sims scored the only goal in a 1-0 quarterfinal win on that occasion. The teams also met in the Nedbank Cup quarterfinals in 2018-2019, with the Chiefs winning 2 goals to nil, thanks to goals from current Amazulu midfielder Pule Extin, as well as current Morocco Solos winger Dumisani Zuma. While a Tottenham knockout tie the following season ended 1-1, Chiefs winning 4-2 on penalties. Current Chiefs defender Edmilson Dove was in the City side that day and scored in the penalty shootout for the Mother City club. He then joined Amakosi ahead of the 2022-2023 campaign. City's record goal scorer Mduduzi Mdantsane, who has scored 21 goals for the club, has also recently made the move to Naturena and could line up against his former employers. The teams have clashed in 17 previous matches in all competitions, 14 in the league, and it is honours even in that time with 7 wins each to go with only 3 draws. Chiefs have outscored their opponents 22 goals as well, and then Cape Town City have only scored 17 goals against Chiefs, so which is only a 5-goal difference between the two, which goes to demonstrate that this has been a close tie over the previous encounters. It has been a close tie, and I think Cape Town City has been one of Chiefs' most formidable opponents, and they've shown that they can compete at the highest level, because we have seen over some fixtures in the past Chiefs have struggled against Cape Town City, last season being a clear example, as Cape Town City completed the double over Kaizer Chiefs, with in this particular fixture Cape Town City clinching a 2-0 victory, and then in the reverse fixture, which was the last game of the season, Cape Town City clinching a 1-0 victory over Amakosi at the FNB Stadium. Chiefs has not won a trophy of any kind since they lifted the league title at the end of the 2014-15 season. It is their longest barren run in the club's illustrious history. Chiefs may be the most successful team in the MTN competition with 15 wins, but the last time they tasted success in the competition, as mentioned earlier, was in 2014. That is the longest they have gone without lifting the top 8 since the competition was first played in 1972. In that particular game, which was a cracker, it took place at the Moses Mabhida Stadium thanks to Captain Tefu Mashamaite scoring the winning goal from a brilliant header, which was a great set-piece delivery by Spiwe Shabalala. The last final appearance was in 2015 when they lost to Ajax Cape Town in the decider at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. Since then, they have exited the quarterfinals on 3 occasions, been to the semi-finals 3 times as well, including last season when they lost to Amazulu. They did not qualify for the MTN8 at all in the 2019-20 season, as they finished 9th, which was a low since way back. They finished 9th in the 2018-2019 season, which meant that they could not play in the 2019. They could not compete at all for the MTN8 trophy in the 2019-2020 season. City have also appeared in every MTN8 competition since the club was formed in 2016. They were beaten finalists in 2017 but returned to decider to lift the trophy the following year. They reached the final again in 2021 but lost on penalties to Mamelodi Sundowns. Last year they were also ousted in the quarters by Amazulu. City coach Eric Tinkler was in charge of the SuperSport United when they beat his current club in the 2017 MTN8 final. Well, in the other game, which is the last game, which will be a game between SuperSport United Matsatsansa Pitori versus the Stellenbosch United, Stellenbosch FC. Excuse me. This game is scheduled to take place on Sunday, the 13th of August, 6 p.m. kickoff at the Peter Mokaba Stadium. This indeed will be the first meeting between these two sides in any cup competition, let alone the MTN8. SuperSport United are 3-time winners of the competition and have appeared in 7 finals in all. That includes a run of 3 finals in a row between 2017 and 2019, where they won the first and third of those but lost to Cape Town City on penalties in the middle one. They were also winners under coach Pitso Mosimane in 2004, but have lost finals in 2005, 2006, 2012 and 2018. Stellenbosch are playing in the MTN8 for the second season in a row, having made their debut in 2022. They hosted Kaizer Chiefs in the quarterfinals on that occasion, but lost on penalties following a 1-1 draw. In that particular game, we saw Ashley Dupree returning to his former club and scoring that decisive goal after a defensive error made by Stellenbosch FC at the back. The teams have met 8 times in 4 seasons since Stellenbosch's promotion to the DStv Premiership. SuperSport have 3 wins to 1, Stellish 3 wins to 1 for Stellies and 4 draws. 3 of those draws have been at SuperSport, while the last 2 of those ended goalless. There have not been too many goals between these sides, only 9 scored by either team in 8 games and average a shade over 1 per match, which is very disappointing indeed. Hopefully that kind of trend will change ahead of Sunday's encounter at the Peter Mokaba Stadium. SuperSport United record goal scorer Bradley Grobler has netted in each of the last 2 seasons against Stellies and clearly enjoys playing against them. Both of Stellenbosch FC coach Steve Barker's previous matches in the MTN8 were against Kaizer Chiefs, and both ultimately ended in his team being eliminated. The first was with University of Pretoria in 2013 as Amatax lost 3-0 in the quarterfinals. The second was when Stellies hosted Kaizer Chiefs in the quarterfinals last season. SuperSport coach Gavin Hunt's only ever triumph in the MTN8 came in 2016 final when his Bidvest side brushed aside Mamelodi Sundowns 3-0 to lift the trophy, but it has mostly been a difficult competition for him. He has taken charge of 42 games in the MTN8 and only won 16. Whoa, yeah, that is a shock for Kevin, considering Gavin Hunt. I mean, a coach of his caliber, you wouldn't really expect that, but I guess MTN8 is not really an easy competition because we have seen underdogs winning in this competition several times. And a cup game is never a guarantee for any club, whether you're a big club or you're a small club. It's always up for grabs, so it shouldn't really necessarily shock us, but for a coach of his caliber, for what he has managed to achieve over his illustrious coaching career, you would expect a little bit better, But then, of course, he hasn't. In recent times, I guess a cup competition is very tough. So it's not a straightforward thing. So it's something that, every team fancies their chances, whether it's a big club or a small club. And it's always like a trophy that is up for grabs. He has also taken he has also taken charge of Chippa United, but unfortunately they didn't play. He has never played with Chippa United in the MTN8. So a poor return for a coach who has been one of the best of his generation in the last 2 decades. SuperSport United have yet to concede a goal this season with a 2-0 win against KwaZulu-Natal based team, the Rich Boys of Natal, Richards Bay, and a goalless draw against Amazulu in the league, which took place a few days ago at the Moses Mabhida Stadium. So I guess he has quite put on a great showing against the KZN opposition. Stellenbosch also beat Orlando Pirates 1-0, but then they lost by the same scoreline to Polokwane City in their second game. So I guess when you look at the top 8 players, in my opinion, that we all need to keep our eyes glued on, as the following players. Of course, when you look at Cape Town City, the Cape Town club have not had much luck with strikers imported from outside the country releasing hard-running Cameroonian Bertrand Mani after only 6 months at the end of last season. This campaign they have turned to Joe Basinsia, an Angolan international who joins from Luanda's police team Interclub. The 27-year-old who played for his country against Bafana Bafana last November in a friendly at Mbombela Stadium, made an immediate impact last Sunday as he scored just 8 minutes after coming on to see the citizens claim a last gasp 1-0 victory against newly promoted Polokwane City at the Athlone Stadium. He is only the fourth Angolan import into the DStv Premiership following Antonio Quito Correra, who played for Ajax Cape Town, as well as Armando Pedro, who last played for Hellenic and African Wanderers, as well as Jose Pereira, who was on the books of SuperSport United. And then let's look at Kaizer Chiefs as well, Amokosi. At the age of 30, Ranga Chivaviro has finally made the career breakthrough he has been searching for. Over the last decade, the striker bounced around clubs mainly in the National First Division. He started at Witbank Spurs, then Cape Town All-Stars, and Ubuntu Cape Town before he got his chance in the top flight at Baroka FC. But the goals did not come there, and instead he went back down again, spending time at both TS Sporting and Vanda FC. Before last season arriving at Marumo Gallants, it took a single campaign to belatedly launch him as he helped the Gallants reach the semi-final of the African Confederation Cup and scored 10 goals for them in the league, although it did not prove enough to keep them in the top flight. On the side of Mamelodi Sundowns, Brazilian Lucas Ribeiro made an immediate splash as he scored on debut to hand his new club the winner in their opening league match of the season. He arrives in South African football without much of a profile, having last played in Belgium. He moved from Sao Paulo club Finheros as 20-year-old to Valenciennes in the French second division, but never got any game time. And after that, moved to Belgium, where Charles Leroy fielded him in a handful of top-flight matches, but he spent most of his last 4 years out on loan, and it would be fair to say he will be hoping his Premier Soccer League adventure is more successful than his European one. Clearly it might, because he already has 2 goals in 2 games. He also scored in the victory against Kaizer Chiefs at the Lucas Moripe Stadium, which was a calmly slotted, cool, calm and collected finish to hand Mamelodi Sundowns the 1-0 lead, and then the final score resulting in a 2-1 victory for the Brazilians. Moroka Swallows, with more than 60 goals in his last decade of playing in the PSL, Frank Gabardino, former Orlando Pirates striker Frank Gabardino Mango, knows his way to goal, but he has proved a mercurial character since he first arrived at Lamontville Golden Arrows, struggling at clubs where he has felt unloved but blossoming where he has been nurtured and valued. A move to Swallows this season and a chance to work with Steve Kompella has a good chance of turning into a success story, with the man management skills of the coach expected to bring out the best in the Malawian international. Mango could show the Birds the way in the MTN8 too, where he has previously won it with Bidvest Vets in 2016. Zakele, on the side of Orlando Pirates, after having a good loan spell at SuperSport United, Zakele Lepasa battled with a troublesome ankle for over a season and could then not find his scoring boots, prompting the Buccaneers to loan him out to SuperSport in January. He started well there initially but finished the campaign on the bench. The saving grace for the 26-year-old was his performance for South Africa in the African Cup of Nations qualifier against Morocco in June, when he scored the decisive goal. That looks to have given him the injection of confidence he needed for the new campaign, including Pirates' defense of their MTN8 title, and he did enough in the preseason to convince coach Jose Riveiro to put him in the team, scoring twice on Tuesday as Orlando Pirates came out victorious in a convincing 4-2 victory in the DStv Premiership clash. On the side of Sekhukhune United, Jamie Webber has been handed a new lease of a career that was stagnating at SuperSport United. He had just turned 18 when Stellenbosch, who were then competing in the National First Division, thrust him into the first team, and as a club came close to promotion in 2018, he showed enough potential to win a transfer from Cape up to Gauteng and SuperSport. There were high hopes that Weber was going to be a stalwart for both club and country, but although he had made more than 100 appearances for SuperSport, including winning the MTN8 in 2019, he was going nowhere fast last season. A move might prove just the tonic for the 25-year-old, and an opportunity to be a regular at Sekhukhune will surely boost his confidence and rekindle his enthusiasm. We did see Jamie Weber score a fantastic free kick against Mamelodi Sundowns on the opening game of the season, which clearly does show that he still has potential, he still has it in him, and hopefully he can keep up with the consistency and the momentum after scoring that brilliant free kick goal. And he was also instrumental in the 2-0 victory against Cape Town Spurs on Wednesday afternoon. On the part of Stellenbosch FC, Coach Steve Barker pulled aside the 21-year-old homegrown product Antonio van Wyk in the preseason and predicted this was going to be a breakthrough campaign for the dreadlock striker. Van Wyk has moved quickly to prove his coach right, scoring with calmness and precision last season to hand the Winelands club a winning start in their league campaign with their only goal in a home victory over highly fancied Orlando Pirates. Van Wyk's pace and dribbling skills could be a major factor for the club this season in what Barker is asserting as the coach continues to give opportunity to players born and brought up in the local communities. On the side of SuperSport, Nigerian striker Itiyosa Ikadaro belongs to Champions Sundowns but is spending a third successive season out on loan, again trying to prove himself. This time he is at SuperSport, where he made an immediate impact, scoring the winning goal, which was like the decisive goal in a 2-0 victory over Richards Bay at the Peter Mokaba Stadium on the opening weekend of the new DStv Premiership season. Igadaro perfectly fits the profile of a player that coach Kevin Hunt likes up front. A target man, number 9, with aerial ability, agility and nuisance value in the box. Igadaro also looks a more than capable antidote to veteran Bradley Grobler, who continued to struggle with injury. Igadaro was previously at the University of Pretoria in the NFD and last season at Chippa United, and was just short of the Golden Boot prize for the league's top goal scorer. So please mention your own predictions. Mention your predictions. Who do you fancy winning the MTN8 title this season? And which team do you believe will go all the way? And which team do you think will put out a surprise? Which club do you think will continue their dominance? And which player do you believe that might, you relish this opportunity of actually becoming a legend in the South African football fraternity? Please like, subscribe, comment, share, and we'll be in touch very soon. Cheers, man.